Very good morning. In this session, I am going to do a demonstration on deploy a full stack application on Kubernetes. As we already discussed in previous session, Kubernetes is used for high availability and fault tolerance and scalability. And we are going to perform all those things in practical. First of all, let me take the source code. So this is the source code. And as like our previous exercise, we have one Docker file and one Docker file for the front end, one Docker file for the back end, one YAML file. So let me open this with the Visual Studio Code. So now you can see that there is one front end, back end as well as one YAML file. So this front end and the back end, which is similar like our previous exercise. So let me open the front end. And as we are using here multi-stage deployment, I don't want to explain much about this front end. So this is using multi-stage, which means that in the first stage, what we are doing now, we are just downloading node 18, keeping that into a folder called app. Then I am just installing Git, followed by I am just cloning my entire front-end source code from this URL. And installing npm, finally build. So after this phase, there is a war file will be generated. That war file will be initially available under dist folder. Then just we are moving that war file into the location called webapp/ecommerce. And similarly for the backend, so here we are just downloading Maven, and we are creating one folder in our container called app. As usual, we are installing Git, then cloning the entire backend source code from the given URL. Then we are just building the application. So once the build gets completed, your initial war file will be available under the folder app/target with the name .var extension. So we are just moving into the folder called /usr/local/tomcat webapp/back1. Okay, so here in the front end source code, so there I have given one Git URL. Either you can use the same URL, otherwise you can able to clone this repo link, and you can able to create your own repository and just replace this Git URL. So here in the src folder, if you comes to the services part, and I'm just taking auth service. So here I have to modify the port number. I use the port number as 3W83. So similarly for this cart service as well as the product service. Also in the components part, I already modified. Let me take example as this laptops. I already here I have modified 3W83. So you will see the output as localhost colon 3W83/back1. Okay, so either you can able to clone this repository, otherwise you can use the same repository for the deployment purpose. Now let me come to this YAML. So here what I have written is, so I have written this YAML code to indicate that how many containers I want to create. So here I want to create a 5 containers. One container for the MySQL. So it will create only one replica, and for the front end 2 replicas, and back end also 2 replicas. So totally 5 machines will create. And why we are creating these replicas means for the backup purpose. And so here, so we have written the configuration related to MySQL in the YAML file itself. So that is what is the name of the MySQL database as e-commerce, and here I have given the username and the password for the MySQL also. So here you can see that. So here I have mentioned that username is a root and the password is also root. And here one thing you can see here. So there are 2 places I used image names. See here, one is the front end as well as the back end. This image name should be use your own um, Docker Hub repository username. Okay, so only here in the YAML file you have to change these two lines alone. That is line number 68. That is these to be replaced with your Docker container username. So this username is there, na? So these to be replaced with that image name. Okay, so similarly for the backend also here you have to replace. The rest of the things are same. And one more thing I want to convey here is, so here the port number. So here see here the backend service which will use the port number as 3W83, where you can see the output in your local machine. Similarly for the front end I am using 30082. So at the end you will see the output for the front end as 3 localhost colon 3W82 slash e-commerce. For the back end localhost colon 30083 slash back 1. Okay, so let me start doing it. So before we execute the commands, just to open your Docker desktop and go to this Kubernetes, and you just take this dots. Okay, so there is a Kubernetes option is there, na? So in the containers, volumes, and Kubernetes, just to click on the Kubernetes. Okay, so not here. Just to go to the settings, and there is a Kubernetes is there. Please ensure that whether it is enabled or not. So if it is enabled, then only you can able to perform the kubectl operation. Just let me close it, and so now just to click these 9 dots, and you have something called Docker Hub. So I want to create a repository in a Docker Hub. Just let me take this Docker Hub repository. So here you can see that my username is Srithar1234. Okay, just to open, you no need to create it because we already given the YAML file URL. So with that same name, it will try to create. Only thing is that you just to open that Docker Hub. So we are going to create the image name with the name Srithar1234, the account name followed by the image name. Okay, so just to open it, and now just to come to your source code where you have. Okay, so just go to this terminal, open the new terminal, take a command prompt. Okay, I want to execute two commands for the build. One is for the front end, another one is for the back end. Let me show you the commands here. The command to build is, so here for the backend, so docker build -f docker file dot backend -t, then in the image name. So in the what image name you want to have your image name, so that is what. So e-commerce backend 1:v1 for the version, followed by there is a dot. So let me copy and give the command. So it will take some time for the execution. So meanwhile I'll just pause my recordings. So now we successfully completed the build for the backend. Similarly repeat the steps for the front end also. So let me take this command, and so again it will take some more time to complete the build. So once the front end and back end builds are successfully completed, I just want to push both the builds into the Docker Hub repository. So for that, I just want to log in first with the Docker login. So in my system, it's already logged in, so I don't want to repeat this step. So if you are doing for the first time, you just do Docker login. So now there is a command to push your files into the repository, Docker push and your image name. Just enter. So again it will take some more time. So now we complete, we just pushed our backend source image. So similarly we have to repeat the step for the front end image also. Docker push followed by the image name. Again it will take some time. Let me pause the video. So now we successfully boost both images into the Docker Hub repository. Let me open the Docker Hub IO. Just refresh and you can see that the image is now pushed to the repository. Now both the images are available. Okay, so now there is the final command to deploy your deploy it into Kubernetes. Okay, so kubectl apply -f followed by that YAML file name. So this YAML file name, okay, so that's it, kubectl apply -f followed by that YAML file name. Just enter. See, after enter this command, so in the Docker containers, if you go to the running container, it will try to create 5 containers. One is for the MySQL, 2 for the front end, and 2 for the back end. Okay, so let me enter, and within fraction of seconds, it is creating the service for front end, back end, and MySQL. Okay, so and after that, if I want to verify, now you can see that I just come to the container. You can see that there is two created for the front end and two for the back end and one for the MySQL. Okay, and here if you want to check how many pods are currently available, the command is kubectl get pods. Okay, so now you can see that totally 5 pods are available. One is the front end, 2 back end, 2 front end, and 1 MySQL. Okay, so now let me show you how to verify the results. Okay, so this deployment is successfully done. Let me open localhost colon 8082 slash e-commerce, because we given these port numbers only, 3W82 slash e-commerce. So now successfully front end is deployed. Similarly for the back end also 8083. So slash 83 slash back 1, enter. So it will show you the white label error message. So if it is getting the white label error, successfully executed. Okay, we just move on to the next. Okay, so if you are getting that white label error, successfully it is executed. It will take some time to complete the execution. Okay, so meanwhile we'll see whether the sign up process is taking or not. So let me go to this React White and so let me log out and I try to do sign up, and I just log in with admin, and password is also admin. Okay, admin@gmail.com, and try to do sign up. Okay, so now you are getting the successful message. Sign up is become successful. Click on OK, and now you can see that here also that white label error content it's displaying. So successfully our backend is executed. Okay, so now you can log in directly with the username as well as password. Okay, successfully now logged in. Okay, so suppose if you go to this computers and mobiles, there is no items are displaying. So you can see that in the mobiles and all there is no items are displaying, and the computer is displaying because I already entered. Let me tell you how to insert the data for the mobiles, laptops as well as the pen drives. Okay, so let me take these db comments. Okay, so first thing is that I just want to get these pods. Okay, I just want to get this pod. I already get this pod kubectl get pods, and here you have to take this MySQL name. this pod name you have to take. So the command is kubectl exec-it, then this MySQL pod name followed by hyphen MySQL hyphen u root and hyphen p root. Okay, let me take this and I just want to replace this MySQL pod name. Let me replace it. Okay, just to do enter, and now you can see that it is now moving to the MySQL, and so now you can directly show the database by using this command show database. Okay, so we have e-commerce database, then you have to use the database, use e-commerce. Okay, so now we are using e-commerce database. So the now next is, if I want to show the table, show tables. Okay, so tables are available. Okay, so now let me go into this db commands, and you know that this is the query I have given to insert computers mobiles, as we already entered already these computers available. Let me take for these mobiles. Okay, so just to add one line here, so there is e-commerce dot to be added here. E-commerce means it is the database name to be added, e-commerce dot products. So let me take this query and just right click, paste it, just enter. Okay, so now you can see that successfully it is updated. So now again just come here and come to this e-commerce, refresh. Okay, so now if I click these mobiles, I'm getting it. Okay, so successfully we are done. Okay, successfully we have completed it. And one thing I just want to make a note here. So now if I come to this Docker text hub, okay, so the purpose of using this Kubernetes is that it will provide high availability as well as the fault tolerance. Fault tolerance means if there is any containers gets failed, automatically it will create a new containers. Suppose if I try to create this front end, okay, these two front end, I'll try to delete. I'll show you what is that. If you try to delete, automatically it will create the additional containers. If I delete it, so within fraction of second, it will try to create a additional containers. Okay, so now you can see again it is created. Okay, so you can't able to delete these containers manually. Suppose if you feel that I just want to delete this container permanently, then you have through the commands only you can do. Okay, so first thing, I just want to list all the deployment by using the command kubectl get deployments. Okay, just give this command. So again, so you have to execute in root only. Just let me exit. Okay, so now here you have to exit. Kubectl get deployments. You see that. So totally 3 deployments are available: backend 2, frontend 2, and MySQL 1. If I want to delete permanently this container, so let me use the command kubectl delete deployment. I just want to delete both frontend, backend, and MySQL. So let me start with backend, then frontend, then MySQL. Okay, just enter. Okay, all 3 namespaces are deleted. If it comes to this container, it will automatically delete all the containers. Okay, so that's it. We completed our exercise. Thank you.